Now we're going to zone in on the Baltimore Ravens. And for Baltimore, rumor number one, offensive line. Will that determine this coming season? 3 Goodell heads on this one. A lot of changes there. Austin Howard has moved on. Ryan Jensen is now a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got to figure things out a little bit.
How concerned are you about this offensive line, Cam?
A little bit. Because Matt Skura at center scares the living daylights out of me, Tom. You know, he had some good performances last year at guard. Kicking him into center, though, it'll be interesting to see how he battles against Bradley Bozeman there, the center out of Alabama. And then you got Marshall Yanda and Alex Lewis coming back from injury. A little concern there about their health. So changes on the offensive line, certainly something to keep in mind with the Baltimore Ravens. 3 Goodell heads.
We'll talk more about Bradley Bozeman, but I think center is a big question mark for me, and I don't know how much I trust the right tackle spot. Are they just going to throw in James Hurst there? Are they going to move him in a guard later? Or are they going to let Orlando Brown take that job?
I think Alex Lewis is going to be the guy.
I think in general, as I look at this offensive line for the Ravens, it's a lot of, we have enough bodies, but where do they actually end up going?
Yes, that's a good way to put about it. Yes, absolutely. Speaking of center, let's talk about centers. At the most important position battle for the Baltimore Ravens. Bleacher Report came out with the most important position battles for every single team. For the Ravens, they went with center. Yeah. We believe this one. 4 Goodell heads on this. Ryan Jensen is gone, and he had an out-of-nowhere campaign where he finished inside the top 10 according to Pro Football Focus's grades a year ago, Tom. So with him now out, Joe Flacco is going to have to figure out Matt Skura.
I think the most underrated position in all of football is center. I think that we focus so much on having a good left tackle so you are protect your quarterback's blind side. But I think you look at bad offensive lines in most cases across the board in the NFL, or lines that aren't as good as they should be, it's because the center has underachieved. I think center is constantly overlooked in the NFL. The one exception that jumps out to me immediately, the Seattle Seahawks. Justin Britt's pretty good, but they just have a terrible offensive line because everyone around him is pretty bad. So I think center is a big factor there for Baltimore. If they don't get that figured out, the entire offensive line is going to suffer.
I hate to bring PTSD to Ravens fans, but this cannot be a Gino Gradkowski situation back in 2013 when it was just brutal on the interior of that offensive line. All right, let's go to rumor number 3 on the list. Are the Ravens going to be more aggressive on defense? 2 Goodell heads here, so it's firmly in the rumor category. This coming from Terrell Suggs with the new DC in Baltimore now, Martindale, who is apparently going to let these defenders be free out there because Dean Pease really didn't allow that.
I am curious how, assuming it is going to be a more aggressive defense, how that will play out for the Baltimore Ravens, Cam. Does that mean more blitzes or more kind of like freestyling from some of those safeties?
Well, I think it's more of an instinct kind of deal where you can observe and react on the defensive side rather than going in a black and white kind of motion and going by a script or anything like that, which was kind of the deal with Dean Pease, especially because he was so conservative. You have to follow a certain game plan. With Martindale now, you can be a little more aggressive. At least that is the buzz coming from Terrell Suggs there. So
I guess that makes sense.
2 Goodell heads on that. Let's go to rumor number 4. Is the Super Bowl within reach for the Baltimore Ravens? 1 Goodell head. This is a rumor because guess what? The odds have actually improved since the NFL draft. The Ravens shot up the rankings. They're now number 19 to capture Super Bowl 53, Tom. Why are you laughing? It's not a laughing matter.
Yes, it is.
We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens.
I apologize in advance, Ravens fans, but you guys aren't winning the Super Bowl this year.
Will they compete?
Define compete.
Make the playoffs?
They will be a borderline playoff team.
All right.
That's what I got for you, Cam.
Well, that's why there's only 1 head there, but we do want to ask.
It's just not going to happen.
You guys, this question. Will Joe Flacco ever win another Super Bowl? Give us a like for yes and a laughing face for no.
I only did it to upset Cam on air.
If we see any laughing faces out there, I will be sad and disappointed.
This is a great time for me to mention this. Cam here is a Baltimore Ravens fan, and against the Cincinnati Bengals, he thought the Ravens had locked it up, so he went over to talk trash to producer Harris and said, "See you in the playoffs, bleep." And then the Ravens lost that game. It was pretty funny.
If anybody wants to know what that bleep was, DM me. I'll let you know.
Talk to the B.
All right, let's continue on here. How about fan attendance? Will it be low in 2018? And we'll put this firmly in the rumor category. 2 heads. Tom, I bring this up because the Ravens have slashed their concession prices, which tells me maybe they need fans to show up.
I think this just makes sense. You saw the Falcons do something similar there, adjusting their prices. Falcons are still way cheaper. Hey, beers, 12-ounce beer is now only $5. So, I mean, for stadium prices, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I've seen $10 beers
I mean, a piece of pizza is still $6, but it's better than the 8.5 or even more you get at other stadiums. So it's not that bad.
All right, let's go to number 6 on the list here. Special packages for Lamar Jackson, perhaps a bad idea. So 2 Goodell heads here in the rumor category, but the logic is, Tom, maybe it could disrupt his development. It might make more sense for him to just learn under Joe Flacco and then eventually become the starter, not to do this quasi sort of impact player thing, which I'm sure the Ravens are going to look into, but doesn't make much sense.
I think the big question is, what do these packages mean? Are these specific packages that have him at quarterback, Flacco's off the field potentially even?
Correct.
Where they let him be a quarterback? Or is this a little bit more of a slash style role a la Cordell Stewart where he plays almost as a wide receiver or it's almost only running plays? So that's the concern. If you're going to have him work a bunch of practice where he's not even playing quarterback in reality, that's where I have some concerns. And that's why it's 2 heads, because I want to see what the packages look like. Hey, look, he's so dynamic. You do want to get him on the field at least in some capacity. Now, on the flip side, as we've seen with Joe Flacco, he's going to be all pouty and stand with the sideline because he wants to be the only quarterback there. So I am okay with having special packages, but they have to be solid packages that aren't just, oh, take the ball and go run. Like, I want to see some packages that allow him to throw the football. Marty
Morningweg worked with Michael Vick back in the day, so he does have some experience there. Should the Ravens have those special packages for Lamar? Let us know in comments.